So I occasionally tune in to the script to see what the actors are doing in the DS fake UFO culture B movie. And of course, it's the point where I can just guess what's happening. The object is, the Atlas thing is moving near Earth, really close to Earth, the 29th. They give you a date. Because when they give you a date to when something could possibly, be seen or speed into our atmosphere, that propagates that special kind of fear that the DS needs. They need you in constant confusion and constant fear so that their black magic negative archetype spells work, such as UAP. It's probably going to be the last time I ever say that. Like when you say that, when you say their black magic words and think about their black magic scripts, it's like doing it's called a genuflect. We would back when I used to go to church when I was young, we would do the sign of the cross. Sometimes you would kneel down. That's like opening up a spirit, your spirit stream to engage in prayer. And this is done everywhere. It could be a prayer mat all throughout all cultures before they engage in what they assume is a spirit connection, like a deeper spirit meditation. There's some sort of gesture or some spiritual items. UAP is right now the ultimate negative, we'll just say satanic, even though esoteric occultists, positive occult studies, don't believe in a hell realm and a heaven realm. There are realms, different dimensions of bodiless entities that vary, but it's not anything that would have been that's associated with monotheism and a father punishing father type God figure, good or bad. And so I'm thinking about this Atlas thing and how the Harvard guy, the AV, what was his name, Loeb or whatever, who was originally came into the picture because he found exotic metallic spheres in the ocean that they don't know how to explain. They call it, so he's assuming it's extraterrestrial. And so that's how the DS snuck in one of their most important actors. You have all of these ridiculous-looking disclosure people that are not meant to be believed. They're more so meant to be questioned. They always pick people that have strange facial features, like the Eggcraft guy. Dr. Greer looks like he's a machine, or like he's going through some sort of Manchurian Candidate situation where they're hitting the button, and in the middle of a conversation, he'll just look like he's being controlled. And all the guys, like every single person, let's say, that appeared on the disclosure panel has to have something about them. And the original guy, I'm so glad I forget his name, that original guy with the weird eyes, that's the most important thing, is every main authority has to have all of these lines of questionable traits, questionable history, or questionable, most importantly, psychological factors behind them, where they have to look unstable. And the Harvard professor puppet is super important because the administration, I'm neutral on the administration. I normally gravitate not an extreme Republican, but they're all for AI. So unfortunately, your president is also steeped in evil, and they're going to need their puppets. And it's amazing how Harvard's funding came back. Probably has something to do with the puppet, with their extraterrestrial guy, making sure he says the right things. And of course, make sure that they propagate that fear. This is how the DS right now, to keep the entire globe from waking up, which I argue will happen soon when proof of the soul is shown by spirit workers, which I can do when I'm gathering a team. They need to keep you confused, and they need to have events that drum up a certain type of fear, a special, pure fear that metastasizes and propagates throughout the globe. So this Atlas thing, they're little dumb, drone hoaxes, crash retrieval stuff. The public, they knew the public wasn't going to buy that, and they knew it was going to be split down the middle. Probably more so people not buying a lot of what they're saying, and that is tapered off. They're not getting that objective gratification they need to keep that negative shroud destroying the consciousness grid, and they need to keep the conscious grid fragmented. And these puppets and the fake video footage is a huge part in them keeping that negative energy at a certain level. And so this Harvard professor, people like Joe Rogan, I can't stand, I've never watched that. You never want to watch that guy. His whole network, of guests are a part of this illusory script. And so now they're bringing out the Harvard professor again. They want you thinking that military, academic materialism are the main voices on super sensible phenomena. So materialism and military thought, which is non-abstract, mainly, like people like, you're not going to have the painter who has a beard and who's living in a bachelor lifestyle on a beach somewhere. That's not going to be normally the people that join the military. The people that join the military, and I love the military, by the way. I'm all about the military. My grandfather jumped out of a plane on D-Day, but they're not the authority for anything super sensible. And this is part of the big trick, is they want you to see a badge, someone who was enlisted working for our country. They also want to throw the family scenario in there. These guys always have to have a daughter or a son. Chris Bledsoe, I said I was going to say that name again, but it's just so dangerous. You guys need to understand this. Military, family man, that's what the public buys. The Chris Bledsoe guy, just a country boy, right? Things like that. And so they also want the less educated public, people that don't use critical and analytical thinking. They just take echo chamber advice. Those people need to see Harvard, okay? Because we're living in a time where people are it's turning into rollerball. Like if you type in something and get an AI response, where are the citations? Where's the citing? Like where are the sources? I mean, academia is probably a mess right now if these kids using these AI programs that have no clue where their source material is coming from. And that's one of the things that this AI nightmare is doing, is it's allowing people to feel comfortable not knowing where their source material is coming from. Oh, it was summarized by an AI program. Oh, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I thought 3 Christmases ago, I made a video about shopping bots. I think it was the most soulless thing in the world to have someone have a shopping assistant choose a gift for somebody. Defeats the whole purpose of a gift. And that was the little baby step I started to see of this soulless entity that's infesting the human race. Even just little things like using a shopping bot. A gift. It's not about the gift, it's about the purpose of the gift. It's about you choosing the gift for someone. You don't use an AI assistant to do that. So even down to the littlest detail of human nature is being fragmented and destroyed and made soulless.